Hey guys, I'm Fairly back here with some more Marathon PvP content. Today we're going to be switching gears back to the trio playlist. We're going to be going over a few clips and a few combat scenarios where I'll be giving my usual insights, and as requested, we're including a couple of clips where things didn't go to the original plan or a wrench kind of got thrown into the engine. So we'll get right into it here, provide all the usual information so you guys can add that to your runs and hopefully glean something from it. I just wanted to remind you guys that the Marathon Masterclass Discord is live. Drop in anytime to ask a question, find a group, have a clip reviewed, or inquire about coaching. I'm always in there saying hi to people, so you can ping me anytime you have a question, and I'll be there for you. So let's get into it. This is going to be a match on perimeter starting off. As you can see, I was actually AFK at the start of this match, so that's going to kind of lead us into our first scenario.
It brought me to my desktop. That's really cool.
Oh, I'm backing up off the... Heal.
One of our teammates had some sort of
overheated.
PC issue where his game kind of closed out. You can hear they just realized that I was
Got one
AFK.
down. Yep, there's one right on me.
And so when you get into these scenarios when it's a 2v3 or a 1v3 and you need to clutch, it's a pretty mentally taxing situation. But when you put together all the steps from the previous videos and really just hone together your game information, the audio cues, the situation, the number of players, you really need to, as we've talked about in the last video, really just slow down and match the pace of the game. Get as much information about this scenario that you can before you fully commit and engage to it. And so that's what I'm going to do here. We're going to go invisible, just not really knowing if all the players are clustered together or if they're kind of scoping around for the last person, as many teams will know that there is usually a last person. People count the body bags. So we're just going to be crouching in, grabbing as much information as we can.
They're all right underneath you.
We can hear all of the crouching and looting that's going on under us, but I'm not convinced that all three are down there, which is why I take this extra hesitancy to kind of, again, not put yourself right into the middle of the fight when you don't have the information. I'm kind of going around the fight, getting as much visuals and audio cues as I can before making a decision. And so there you can see someone makes the decision for me. They catch me off guard. I instantly know that I went to literally 1 health. I knew that there was kind of this big rock that's near me that I can maneuver around. However, with 2 other people barreling down on me, that's not going to give me a statistical chance to win. So I throw down my ultimate ability and kind of have the shroud, and the way that I make my decision here is I instantly take a heal just to get off of 1 HP. My second heal doesn't instantly go, but I do hear the footsteps all around me, and I believe that, and it's a reasonable assumption with how low I am and that the fact that they have 2 versus 1, that they would rush into this smoke, which is kind of a bad decision typically, but when I'm this low health, that's a pretty good idea in their heads in the split moment. So I take out, because my shield didn't pop instantly, I take out my sniper rifle, knowing that I'm going to go back invisible after this brief heal, making me visible. And I'm going to almost take the sniper out to use it as sort of a semi-automatic shotgun, if I can maybe just press it into them or barrel stuff them, or even just get off 1 shot with the sniper and switch back off to my bully SMG and finish them off. So again, more than a couple seconds goes by without them rushing in, so I kind of feel out what their pace is and what their urgency is. They are a bit shook by how that first person went down and that they can't find me. So they're playing safe and not rushing into the smoke. So I'm going to match that pace and start taking other heals while I have the time to do so. And again, I'm not just sitting in the middle taking heals here listening. I'm kind of doing the left strafe out of the smoke for just a second, just to get a quick visual and then go back in to be fully covered. Again, just grabbing as much information as you can in these crucial kind of split-second moments. You're taking the very small lulls in the fight and making effective moves during that downtime. And so now you can see we have our full shield, we have half health. The invisibility leaves, but you can still see that I'm sticking to the principles of sticking to your cover, knowing where it is. You can see as soon as the invisibility goes away, I get very close. I crouch, protect my hitbox, and I kind of just glide along this wall here, making sure that my hitbox is the most protected it can be. And we end up taking up the last person. Huge to make up for being AFK like that. So in this next clip, we are on Dire Marsh, Perimeter, and this is kind of the entrance to a trio fight, and we do end up getting all of them. I get the first two off the rip pretty fast, but I want to point out that, again, something that we've talked about so much, the verticality of this game and the importance of height, where it can, just being up there for that split second, it gives you a snapshot of what the current situation around you is in terms of visuals. You get a little bit better audio, and of course, when you have that height position, people really don't tend to look up very much. And so you're going to find yourself getting a lot of first shot opportunities when you take those height positions. So I'm looking through the window there just to see if anyone was inside. And again, look at this elevated position. Instantly see where people are. I don't get the tag on him, but important, I tag the general area that he was for my teammates, so they kind of know what's going on. And so I see the second one enter. I'm going to get up to an even better height position. Look at how unaware these folks are, and they get melted. Blue shields, if those were decent players, which they very well could have been, they just got caught off by surprise. That could have been a long, drawn-out fight. And again, finishing those fights, waiting until you have an opportunity where you can put someone down in a half a second to where they're not going to be able to run away and drag out the fight and tag you and communicate to your teammates information about your location. It's so crucial, and height is the perfect opening to something like that. So here, the next clip, we are still on Perimeter, different match. This is a kind of scenario that you'll get lulled into after a certain amount of time playing the game, especially if you're an aggressive player or if you're just kind of tunnel visioning towards maybe an objective or one of your quests. You, after a certain point of the game, you will start running around with your knife out, which is okay most of the time, but you really need to, when you get near POIs, again, match the flow of the game. Stop running, take your gun out, start listening. Here, I'm a bit over enthusiastic, and I actually don't even see these people until the last minute. So you'll see what the reaction is here and how we play this and get out of this situation. So again, instantly when we realize the people there were outnumbered, we're not sitting there and taking shots at a 2v1. We're going to get instantly melted. We instantly make the decision to get to where our cover is and make one of the big three decisions. We heal, not in this case, ability, or we evade. In this case, we're going to be taking the last two. We're going to pop our smoke and use that to get away just in case all three of them are there and they want to collapse in on the smoke, which again is a pretty bad play on their part, but statistically in the moment, maybe players that aren't as inclined in the game knowledge as we are in terms of fighting, they would say, okay, it's a 1v3, let's all just push in and take him out real quick. So here, this is important. My teammates are kind of separated back there. I was the first person into the fight, and so the original combatants are kind of fighting with my two teammates, and it's a traditional head-to-head fight here. Being that I got out of the fight and got lost, I'm going to do something that we've done in a bunch of different of my previous videos. We're going to kind of soft disengage from the fight and rotate around the back for a soft flank on the enemy. So we can kind of tilt this fight in our favor. So I'm going to take one. I hear a kind of a missing shot, that's why I'm looking around over there. A shot in an area where I didn't expect someone to be. So I'm not going to go and loot his bag. Again, as we talked about, not going to jump into the bag immediately. The enemy teammates are going to go over to revive him or assume that someone is going to be looting him, because that's what bad players do. They jump into the loot immediately. So here, and we get our kill. We did the soft flank around. We're going to follow back that exact same flank. Since they didn't see me and they had no idea that I did in the first place, this is still a safe route to take. And so here, that missing shot from before, that stray shot that was over there, we get hit in the back from him. What do? We don't turn around and stand there out in the open and try to engage him from that point. We instantly realize that the arrow was telling us we're being shot from behind. It's not going to be in our benefit to take the time, especially on controller, to turn around and then engage him all while being shot. I'm going to make the decision, again, to go instantly to where my cover is, where I'm out of the line of sight, and make one of the decisions: heal, ability, or evade. In this case, I'm just going to soft reset, put my crosshair in the direction where he is, reload, and I'm going to push him, knowing that both of my teammates are down, and I need to keep even the smidgen of momentum that I got with killing the first person. So now, it went from a 3v1 to now a 1v1. I'm not going to run back to the original body or even the original area of the fight. and I'm not going to stay up right on the upper right where that teammate just left, because that's where the last information that was given about me was. So I'm going to immediately, once I get that kill, again, not looting bodies, I'm moving away from the situation, soft resetting myself, making sure I'm healed, making sure I'm reloaded, and I'm ready to take that one-on-one for the last kill. So again, not getting into the situation, we're rotating around. And what do we get with rotating around? We get that information. We see where he is. We get that information about the turret shooting him. And so we finally spot him, and we're going to be looking to end it here. And an excellent thing is that when I get to this point, and in my head, it's a 1v1 right now, which is somewhat a safe assumption, but you never want to assume. So I don't go straight towards him to initiate a head-to-head 50-50 fight. I'm going to rotate again as a soft flank just for the misdirection. And in that time, I realized that someone was revived, or they self-revived. And so just the fact that I took this hesitation here to not go towards something that I thought was almost a guaranteed 1v1 last person, I get this information that there's now 2 people up, and I have to start playing this immediately differently. I put him down, so it's back to the 1v1, but I'm down in health. My situation has changed. So again, we get to our cover. One of the big 3 decisions, we do heals, we do an ability, or we evade. So in this case, we're going to heal, we're going to do our ability as it comes up, and we're going to get ready for the fight. Immediately putting our crosshair towards where we expect the person to be, and they get absolutely put down. So technically it was a 3v1, could have been a 4v1. I wouldn't have blamed you for calling it that. But again, the power of the soft flanks. And this is in a clip where we're going to be showing another soft flank. And we actually had a soft flank on this very same area, very same map, on a previous video, and it worked out just as well. So again, you'll see that we're going into the POI, we're all together. As soon as we hear the shooting internally, my 2 teammates are going to split off right mid. I'm going to go far left for the flank, just for an extra set of eyes on a different angle. Just different information that my teammates don't already have. Again, trigger discipline, waiting until we have the quickest kill possible. Insane quick scope headshot. Again, not going for the bodies. We're looking around. We're getting small heights. We're listening. Teammate goes down. We know that we're down, so we take that little grapple up onto that box. Even though it almost sounds counterintuitive at that point, it made my hitbox not be in the normal position that it was. My hitbox was a bit distorted, so the upper part of my chest and my head was not able to be hit. He was hitting me in the legs, which is why I was able to stay alive, even though he had the first shot on me. So those micro movements that you do within your strafes and your gunfights, especially at close range, is something that you 100% want to work on, whether it be in rook runs or just low risk kind of PvP focused runs. You really want to get well rounded on those types of things, because as you can see, when you have that muscle memory and it snaps to it in the moment, there's not a big chance that you're going to be going down. So here we have the next clip. This is on Dire Marsh. I'm kind of scouting ahead for my team. We heard shooting over here. And so I take one of them down. I'm not going to rush in again to go and look at the body or loot it. I'm going to make the decision to go to height. Again, super important. Getting these instant snapshots of what the situation is around you. And so we hear people below us. It's actually going to be the drone that comes out first. But we know the person is right behind them. So look at what we do here. This is something that you see me do all the time, and I try to explain it when I can. So the drone comes out, we take it down. Instantly, right here as the drone is taken down, this threat is eliminated. We know we're focusing on the next person or engagement. So what do I do here? When the door where this drone came out of is to my back and the person could potentially come out of here, instantly going behind the cover, soft resetting the engagement. Look at where my crosshair is. It's right towards the door. And all I have to do is step right and be ready to engage. you don't want to just re-peek with your crosshair not near the person, because it's going to take you that extra couple milliseconds or half a second to adjust your aim and start getting the shots on target. So the more of those kind of delays that you can hammer out over time, overall you're going to notice yourself executing way faster.
Claymore just blew up here.
So here we're taking the lull to kind of look, see what they have. We still know that at least one
Right
is
here,
missing.
Right here. Oh, it's a team. That's another team.
Great comms. Once he knows that we're looking for one more and he sees more than one, he knows that it's likely another team. And so we get surprised again. We know instantly where our cover is. We remove ourselves from the situation. Make one of the big three decisions: heal, ability, or evade if you don't have the ability to continue this fight. And so once we get our heal going, we know that we are getting reloaded right now. We're going to do the same thing as in the first clip. We're going to stay within our smoke and kind of strafe outward real quick just to get quick glimpses of what the situation is around us, so we can figure out what our next move in this engagement is going to be. There it is, instantly back into the smoke, letting our heals go. We're removing ourselves back from the fight. We're not going into the building. We're not going right to our teammates. We kind of stepped back. Again, the soft resets in this fight, it might seem like it's repetitive or a long time or kind of delayed, but in the moment, these feel like, these like 2-3 second kind of pauses or soft resets feel like a lifetime, and you fully reset yourself to be able to ensure that your next engagement is not going to be a 50-50 and that you are going to be the statistical winner. So again, we do that soft reset here. And what do? We get up, even if it's, I always said, even if it's 1 or 2 kind of blocks or hitboxes high, the height is so important because I'm getting an instant snapshot here of if anyone is lurking near my invisibility, or like we see here, if someone's up on height engaging my teammate who is on low, has a beautiful advantage on him. But the fact that I decide to take my own kind of mini height and evaluate the situation, I get aware of this as fast as possible and I prevent my teammate from going down. And he's going to get the quick cleanup on him. Little weird hitbox there. And again, like we talked about, you can hear that kind of hissing of a self-revive. So I'm going to go towards him. I'm not going to sprint or anything just because, you know, I'm not sure really what the situation is, if there maybe is one more that's lurking around. But I know that even if he does get up, he's going to be literally 1 HP and not have any chance to fight back. As soon as you get up from a self-revive, there's kind of maybe a half second to a second buffer before you can even take your weapon out or do actions. So I knew that he was in a position where I'm going to be finishing off really quickly. So yeah, that's a bit more into the trios world. I believe next video we'll try something new, or we'll just run it back to solos. I definitely have a ton of clips that I'm waiting to edit and get over to you guys with commentary. So yeah, thank you guys again so much for your support. I have an absolute ball making these videos for you and interacting with you guys. If you ever want to connect unfairly with 2Ys on X or Twitter, and I'm unfairly in the Marathon Discord, stop by the Marathon Masterclass Discord. If you have any questions, ping me anytime. We have coaching, clip review, and a pretty solid community that's starting here. So I really, again, thank you guys so much for your support, and I hope you have a really great rest of your start to this game.